Today's topic, getting away from the excuse of something being too complex. Hi, I'm Doug Holt, with author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we're calling the 5 to Thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. So I have the unique privilege of coaching a lot of business clients, and one is actually in a group, and they're fitness professionals. Now, these are fitness professionals with over 5 years of experience in the fitness industry, and all of them own their own facility. They're extremely intelligent individuals. But when it comes to their business, typical business operations, oftentimes they use the excuse of it being too complex, not enjoying it, or just not understanding. I'll hear things like, Doug, I just don't get it. Or I just don't understand what this means. Or I don't understand this whole marketing, analytics, Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn. All these things are just overwhelming. I don't get it. And to them, I have to say BS. Why is it BS? It's because these are all smart people. They can tell you the bones in your body, the muscles, the insertions, the origins, flexion, extension, eversion, inversion, all of these complex physiological and anatomical terms. They know it and they've learned it. Why? They like it. That's the difference. So what they haven't done is they've created a story. And this is a story all of us fall into, right? There's something. For me, it used to be finances and money. I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand, how these people are rich and how these people aren't. It's fake money. And I just, for some reason, didn't get it. And I use that as a crutch for myself, an excuse not to manage my money in my early 20s. I use this as, I don't understand this. But at the same time, I was teaching at a high level, different exercise physiology, anatomy, marketing, all these other things that others would call complex. But to me, seemed so simple. The reason is I had passion behind it, and I took time to learn what these items were. So these fitness business owners, again, highly intelligent people, are using that same crutch. And don't we all? Isn't there an area in your life that you're probably using as a crutch? Something that's too complex, and you're saying, you know what, it's too hard, it's too complex, and that's the reason you're not excelling or actually doing it? So for this individual, I just explained to him. I said, do you know what a bicep is versus a brachioradialis? And they said, oh yeah, Doug, of course I do. I'm in the fitness industry. Like, well, that's a dumb question. Like, I'm a professional. I said, exactly. That's an anatomical term that the average person does not understand and couldn't point out. And it's the same goes for marketing. You took time to learn this. You took time to learn the body because you cared. You knew you were going to help people. And in order to help people and be really good at it, and also to get the accolades that come with being an expert in the fitness industry, you need to know these things. And they agreed. Yeah, I do. Now, as a business owner, it's your duty to understand marketing. It's your duty to understand your numbers. It's your duty to understand finance. It's not only your duty to yourself, but it's your duty to your employees, to your family, and also your customers to some degree. You owe it to them. As a business owner, I think this is your responsibility. You need to know the whole game and understand it. Do you have to know everything? No, absolutely not. But you have to know enough. You have to know enough and be able to push a button and bring an expert in, much like Henry Ford did on his assembly line. If he needed a question, he pushed a button and asked an expert, and he knew enough to know if that expert knew what they were talking about. As a business owner, if you have a large organization with thousands of employees, you can get away with that. Now, as a solopreneur or a small business owner, you can't, right? You need to know enough to be dangerous in each of these areas. Now, but this also goes for you. If you're listening to this right now, which you are obviously, or watching me, there's an area of your life, I can almost guarantee that you're using an excuse of it being too complex. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. And the reason you're doing that is it's easier to go that way, and you probably don't enjoy it, right? You don't enjoy that subject matter. Now, aren't there all kinds of things in our life that at one time seemed just overwhelming and super complicated? But once we dug in just a little bit around that curve, they became easy and intuitive. And they came just like, you can think of things even from childhood, like riding a bike, right? No one just jumps on it and it's easy. You fall all the time, you mess up, you have training wheels, and it takes a while. Now you can, after a while, you can just get on a bike and ride and you don't even think about it. The same is with my business. I just don't think about it. I know my numbers. I know marketing. I know how to brand and innovation. I understand all of this. I know how to build a business. It's just intuitive to me at this point in my life. But it wasn't always like that. It's something that I had to learn. And the finances is the same thing. It's an area that I continue to study, understanding banking. And the reason I study it is because it is my crux, right? It's something that I get to overcome to become a better man, a better human, and to improve upon myself. So what I want you to do today is think about it. Think about these fitness business owners that I talk about that are, again, they're extremely intelligent, and how most of them have this excuse that they're leaning on, this crutch of an excuse, saying, and especially in their marketing and their business development and growth, that it's too complex and they just don't get it. And how does that apply to you, right? How does that apply to me in my life? And so what I want you to do is write in your journal, just like I'm about to do as soon as I get off of here. Write in your journal through your 5 to Thrive. Where are those crutches for you? Where in your 5 to Thrive are you making an excuse? Is it in your mind that there's a language that's just too hard? You know what? Mandarin is just too hard for me to learn. Spanish is too hard for me to learn. It's too difficult. I'm too old. What's your excuse? Was it your body? Nutrition, is it paleo? I just don't get it. I don't understand how you can do metabolic training or even what metabolic training means. You have one body. You should know some of the basics. Is it in the area of your soul, your religion? Have you got strayed away from your religion because it's too complex? Or have you gone away? Or do you not understand? Or are you saying all Christians are bad or all Muslims are bad because you really just don't get it? Or maybe meditation. I hear this a lot about meditation. And I was one of these people that wouldn't meditate because it's just not for me. My mind goes everywhere until I learned that's kind of the reason you meditate, right? You need to just push through that little barrier. Or is it in your relationships, right? How often do all of us hear from the opposite sex of like, I don't understand women, I don't understand men, or whatever. And really, there's not a lot to understand. It's just relationships are dynamic, and there's some very simple, basic things that you can learn to do, and they're very teachable. So get a relationship coach or grab some books. Or isn't your business, right? Do you not know your numbers? What's your rent? Do you know? If I asked you right now, what's your rent? Is it triple net? What is it? If you're a business owner, how much is your payroll? How much do you pay in taxes on average? What are your quarterlies? These are numbers you should know. What's your profit? What's your loss? Well, if I ask you these statements on your balance sheet, where are you today? Are you profitable? Most business owners, even successful business owners, don't know a lot of these common questions. And that's because they use it as a crutch. It's just too complex and I'm just really good at what I do. But you're not being a good steward of your own journey and your own story if you don't know these answers. So where does it fall for you in your 5 to Thrive? Where are you making excuses? I'm going to be doing the same thing because you can always peel back that onion a little bit deeper. And if, for example, for me, finances come up again, if that's what I'm looking at, because I know there's certain things with finances I just don't quite get. Right now, I understand blockchain programming. I've learned about that, but there's certain applications with blockchain I don't quite get. It's pretty complex. So I think I'm going to push myself over the edge and really learn it. Not because I'm ever going to do anything with it, but it just allows you just that little extra edge, right? You're pushing yourself just like, if you can do 10 push-ups, but you do 11 rather than 8, it's a big difference for you in the long term in just your mental game and your physical game. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'm going to ask you to do the same thing right now. I would really love to hear from you. So reach out to me and let me know what it is for you so I don't feel alone in this journey. I'm always improving myself and always working on bettering my game, as well as pushing my clients. And that's why I think of you, this community, author of your own story. You're here right now because you want to better yourself. And I love you for that. I get it. And I understand and respect the journey that you're on. So that's it for me today. As always, I'm going to encourage you, 1, share this with somebody. Share it because they're going to get something out of this. And it's probably going to be totally different than what you're getting out of it. And you might be giving it to them at that right time. I hear from so many of you that I've never met before, at how just one of these daily growth hacks hit you at the right time, the right moment in your life, and allowed you to, when you're going left, to shift to right, going to right down that different direction. And it's made all the difference. And that makes me feel so great. But just imagine sharing this with somebody else that you can make that change for. And then I'm also going to ask you to make sure you sign up for the newsletter, right? Sign up for the newsletter so you can get the tips and tricks. I get a lot of emails asking questions, and a lot of this stuff is covered in our newsletters at much greater depth. So that's my gift to you. We pour ourselves into these, and coming mid-December, we're going to be launching a whole new facet of this that I want you to be involved in. So please sign up for the newsletter right now. And then number 3, and the most important, go out and inspire someone simply by following your own dreams. Be the author of your own story and inspire others around you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below, and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.